What is a digitally native vertical brand or DNVV? Before comparing the two brands, it's important to understand how digitally native vertical brands or DNVVs actually are. A DNVV is a company that is born online, created specifically for digital platforms, so it does not depend on traditional stores or wholesalers. It sells directly to customers, D2C, meaning it owns the entire consumer relationship and it keeps control of margins and pricing. These brands are customer experience focused. They use data personalization to build loyalty rather than relying on traditional advertising. And finally, they maintain control over distribution based on pricing, managing design and production, and delivery in-house. Analytical structure of our presentation. Here's how we have structured our analysis. We start with the context and framework, defining DNVVs and explaining Warby Parker innovative cost and pricing model. Next, we move into cost structure analysis, comparing online and offline value chains and how cost behavior affects pricing. Then we look at pricing policy evaluations, applying Chapter 14 concepts like relevant cost, targeting costing, and value-based pricing. And finally, we discuss consumer behavior and managerial implications, examining how digital models shape perceptions of value and lessons from management accounts can draw for strategic pricing decisions. Warby Parker versus Ray-Ban. Two paths in the eyewear market. To illustrate this concept, we compare Warby Parker, a DNVV founded in 2010 to disrupt the eyewear market, with Ray-Ban, a heritage brand under Luxottica that follows a traditional retail model. Warby Parker operates mainly online, using a D2C model and offering affordable, transparent pricing, about $95 per unit per pair. This cost structure combines in housing and design and costs, and the comparison shows how different cost structures directly influence pricing, strategy, and consumer perception, a key link in management accounting analysis. As for slide 4, analytical structure of our presentation, we start with the context of framework, defining DNVVs and explaining Warby Parker's innovative cost and pricing model. Next, we move into cost structure analysis. Then we look into pricing policy evaluation, applying Chapter 14 concepts like relevant cost, targeting costing, and value-based pricing. Finally, we discuss consumer behavior and managerial implication, examining how digital models shape perceptions of value, what lessons management accountants can draw for strategic pricing decisions.
In this part, I will analyze how Warby Parker and Ray-Ban differ in their cost structures, using management accounting logic to show how their business models affect profitability. Starting with Warby Parker, it is a digitally native, vertically integrated brand, which means it designs, manufactures, and sells directly to consumers online with no intermediaries. Because of that, most of its costs are fixed, such as technology, salaries, and digital marketing, what we refer to as customer acquisition costs, or CAC. Its variable costs include production, packaging, and shipping. By avoiding wholesalers and retail intermediaries, Warby Parker removes unnecessary distribution costs and reaches a gross margin of around 58%. On the other hand, Ray-Ban follows a more traditional retail model, producing through wholesalers and selling in physical store, which creates higher fixed costs such as store leases and staff salaries, and higher variable costs such as distribution and retail commissions, resulting in its gross margin being lower, between 35 and 40%. Overall, the difference in cost structure explains the profitability gap. Warby Parker's D2C model converts variable retail costs into controllable fixed ones, while Ray-Ban's traditional model remains cost-heavy and less flexible. From a management accounting perspective, Warby Parker uses cost data to make strategic decisions about marketing and growth. Its accountants compare customer acquisition cost, or CAC, with customer lifetime value, which represents the total revenue expected from one customer over time. If LTV is greater than CAC, that means marketing spending is sustainable and the company will remain profitable. This helps Warby Parker decide how much it can afford to spend on marketing, whilst also maintaining its target profit margins. So, in summary, management accounting helps identify relevant costs and optimize digital cost efficiency while maintaining profitability, even in a high CAC digital environment.
Moving on, I'm going to focus on pricing policies, specifically on target costing and value-based pricing. Let's start with target costing. So, unlike the traditional cost plus approach, where a company calculates its production cost and then adds a markup, Warby Parker uses the opposite logic. The company begins with the price customers are willing to pay, which in this case is $95 per unit, including both frames and lenses. This $95 price is a market driven target price, not just a random figure. It reflects what customers perceive as fair and competitive. From there, Warby Parker works backwards to make sure its total costs, including distribution, production, marketing, and packaging, stays around $55 to $65 per unit. That means that the company earns around $35 to $40 profit per unit, reaching its target margin. We also know that management accountants play a key role here because they constantly monitor their production costs, their marketing spending, and efficiency to ensure that the company meets its target cost without reducing quality. Now, let's move on to the value based pricing. This approach sets prices according to the value customers perceive and not just the internal costs. Warby Parker delivers a very strong perceived value through its modern design, its advanced communication, its digital convenience, and most important, its social mission. Buy a pair, give a pair. So customers are not only paying for the pair of glasses, they're also paying for the brand's story, its purpose, and the positive experience of buying this. This emotional and ethical connection justifies the price, even though production costs are much lower. Now let's compare with Raven. Raven follows a more cost plus and premium pricing strategy. Its prices are higher because of its retail markup, its distributors, its store expenses, and also because of its reputation of luxury and heritage. But the main difference here is control. Whereby Parker begins with a direct to consumer and then manages price and costs more efficiently. Whereas Raven uses a more traditional model that offers less flexibility and less transparency for consumers.
In today's digital markets, consumer behavior and psychology have become key elements in how companies set their prices. Warby Parker's strategy is built on understanding how people feel when they buy glasses online. Instead of depending on physical stores, the company focuses on building trust, simplicity, and transparency in this digital experience. On the other hand, Ray-Ban still relies on a strong brand heritage and in-store experience to justify their higher prices and its luxury image. Modern customers are no longer influenced only by price. They care about transparency, convenience, and experience when they decide where and what to buy. Because of this, consumer behavior becomes a strategic cost driver. How customers see and value a product will directly influence its pricing decisions, consumer loyalty, and lifetime value. In short, behavior has become an important part of management and accounting decisions. Warby Parker turns this understanding of behavior into action through its home try-on program. Customers can try up to 5 frames at home for free before deciding which one to buy, which helps the customers build trust and lowers the fear of buying online. The company also uses transparent pricing, $95 per pair, including lenses, which shows fairness and clarity. This simple and honest approach will increase customers' perceived value and loyalty. From a management accounting perspective, Warby Parker combines non financial metrics such as customer satisfaction, conversion rates, and net proposed scores with financial indicators such as consumer acquisition cost, contribution margin, and return on marketing investment. By combining these two types of data, the company makes evidence based pricing decisions that will balance customer value with profitability. Compared to Raymond's premium model, Warby Parker focuses on trust, transparency, and accessibility, turning consumer behavior into a real competitive advantage.
As you heard, Warby Parker and Ray-Ban sell the same product, but they use different operating models. Warby Parker sells directly online and controls most of the journey. Ray-Ban relies on stores and wholesalers, which adds physical cost but gives presence and status. That difference explains their prices.
Warby Parker keeps one clear price and a smooth path to buy. Ray-Ban supports a premium with brand heritage and store experience. Management accounting links the choices to the numbers, so the price is not only attractive, it remains economically sound. For decisions, the picture is simple. At Warby Parker, the price is $95 per pair. The total cost per pair is about $60. That includes making, packaging, delivery, returns, and marketing. The result is roughly $35 to $40 of margin per unit. And when pressure builds, the reaction is practical. Make the message clearer, keep the website and checkout fast, make home try on and returns very easy to follow, and offer small adds on or bundles that raise the order value. Ray-Ban uses different levers in store promotions, product assortments, and pricing by channels, terms with retail partners, a strong visual merchandising, and good services in stores. Different operating models use different levers, but the aim does not change. Protect the margin and keep performance steady. To conclude, clarity and speed win. A fair and transparent price lowers resistance. A cost base that truly supports that price keeps the business healthy. Quick changes when the numbers move stop small shifts from becoming big problems. Pricing is not only a list price, it is a promise to customers and a discipline inside the company. When value leads, costs are designed to fit, and the response is quick. Pricing policy turns into real results.